Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns, and also commemorating India's G20 presidency, and in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions today, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, first we'll look at the weekly commemorations. This week is commemorated as Be Kind to Animals Week, starting from May 7 to 13, which is an international commemoration held in first full week of May. So this week it is from May 7 to 13th. So this week is designated to acknowledge and appreciate the efforts made to ensure animal safety in the US and around the world. Since the week's inception in 1950, the American Humane Association has hosted this week all over the US and has encouraged other organizations and individuals to join them. Its aim is to spread awareness about the need to be kind to animals and to protect them and their habitats. So let's be kind to every animal we come across both this week and also always. So throughout the history, men and women have coexisted with various animals. No matter where in the world they lived, it would be fair to say that any account of the history of mankind would be incomplete without discussing the participation of animals. From domestic animals that keep us company and make our homes whole, to wild animals that we get to observe in their natural environments, habitats, all animals deserve our kindness and respect. Sadly, many species of animals have gone extinct due to our failure to fairly share our world and our resources with them. Population expansion has led to habitat loss, and activities like excessive hunting have taken a huge toll on various species. All in all, while animals have played a positive role in human lives, we have in many cases played a major role in their decline and destruction. Over the years, many organizations have come into existence with the aim of safeguarding the lives of domestic and wild animals. Local and international efforts are being made to foster the culture of caring and respecting animals. The Worldwide Fund has been at the forefront of efforts to protect wildlife, and the American Humane Association has been leading the way in showing kindness to animals in general. They have offices in most cities around the states. Throughout more than 100 years of commemoration, Be Kind to Animals Week The vision and mission of this event has been same, to show kindness to animals anywhere, anytime. The American Humane Association was established to protect animals in 1877. The world witnessed the killing of millions of horses, donkeys, and mules in various battles across the Europe in 1940, as animals were used as vehicles and for transporting goods and various other purposes. In the wars, the first ever Be Kind to Animals Week was celebrated by American Humane Association in 1915, and the centenary celebrations go global in its 100th anniversary on 2015. So there are many ways to be kind to your animals or pets. For starters, give them regular exercise and make sure they are always having enough food and water. Additionally, it's important to get your pets spayed or neutered. If you are not able to hand, or if you have not planned any further expansion of animals. Since animals can't speak up and defend themselves, we need to defend them. Animals, like people, deserve to live comfortable lives and safe lives. You can be sure that animals will always remember kindness. There have been moments when people have reported animals returning to their helpers, often to give their gratitude. Bring a pet home and give it the kindness and care it deserves. Encourage others to do the same. Don't buy, don't shop pets, but adopt. Talk about animal kindness, give a lecture, or share a story, or organize an event to raise awareness about this need to show kindness to animals like these, both online or offline. Many organizations in the US have dedicated themselves and also across the world to caring for the animals. They may need your donations in cash or kind. Money is not always the way to contribute. You can volunteer your time or make a charitable donation. Due to genetic manipulation, 90% of the broiler's chicken can't walk properly. And as we recently also discussed, due to this genetic modified foods, even the humans and the animals and other species genes are also getting modified gradually with the interaction of epigenetics. Many major circuses that use animals as performers have been reported for mistreating their animals. Cruelty is rife in circuses and animal shows where animals are used. Since the Civil War, dog fighting has been prevalent in every urban, suburban, and rural settlement of every state in the US. Unlike other events that are more than 100 years old and have slowly lost attention, Be Kind to Animal Weeks have been growing ever since its inception. At least 115 million animals are subjected to experiments every year, so that large pharmaceutical companies and other corporations can be sure that their products are safe for human use and consumption. So they undergo long journey of pain and suffering and abandonment and isolation in the process. A lot of cruelty is inflicted to them and abandoned without proper care. Animals, like humans, feel emotions such as pain, sadness, and grief. We feel our sadness and pain, but we ignore the pain that animals feel. We need to respect animals as they are sentient beings and treat them with kindness and compassion as they have equal rights as we have on the planet and natural resources. And as we human beings have rights and right to live with dignity, peace and harmony, they also have the animal rights to and have the right to life. As already mentioned, animals are sentient beings like humans, feel emotions such as pain and also happiness, all kinds of emotions. Around the world, many people continue to treat animals badly. Our efforts in spreading awareness help to regulate or create awareness or create regulations that promote treatment, proper treatment to the animals, and also to punish people who mistreat animals. Showing kindness to the animals simply means making us better human beings. It shows that we can still carry goodness in our hearts. Many times we have seen those who have committed crimes or cruelty towards animals also repeat the same on human beings. So, committing cruelty towards the animals can also be a trigger that person can also similarly treat human beings. And there is a possibility of cruelty that can be committed with other human beings as well. And as we are becoming more and more potato cows or more engaged with multitasking, we often forget that we need adequate water because 70% of our body is water and 70% more than 70% of the planet, our earth is also water. And water is very much essential for survival and also adequate nutrition. This week is commemorated also as Drinking Water Week in the US. As in our daily lives, we drink water without thinking about where it is coming from and whether it is safe for us. Polluted drinking water can be responsible for many waterborne diseases and illness, which is why awareness is so important. It is sponsored by American Water Works Association. Drinking Water Week helps us think about the significant role that safe drinking water plays in keeping us healthy. It also makes us realize the importance of being aware of whether water is safe or not. People have been storing and distributing drinking water since beginning of time. During the hunter-gatherer period of human civilization, river water was used as drinking water, and so civilizations were usually formed near the water source. Thus, rivers are being treated at par with divinity and God because all the human civilizations, even before human civilizations, animals and plants were very much habituated and they started along the rivers. So that's why in certain cultures like Hinduism, they understand this and they give equal respect to each and everyone, each and every living and non-living being, because they treat and believe in compassion. And that's why we have this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept where every tree, every plant, every human being, every species, including animal, birds, all are treated as part of one family. So that is what present day we are lacking, because of which we are discriminating, differentiating, and also trying to kill or contributing towards their extinction, which is affecting the ecosystem, biodiversity, and the food chain that is, in fact, impacting the human beings as well. And later on, in the case where there were no rivers or lakes, they used groundwater for drinking water, which was pumped up through wells. And when the human population started growing extensively, the water supply was no longer sufficient, and drinking water needed to be extracted from a different source. So about 7,000 years ago, river water and water in wells were used as drinking water sources. People also developed drinking water transport systems, namely through channels, canals that were dug in the sand or rocks. Gradually, people shifted to hollow tubes for channels and hollow palm trees and various other trees, and also bamboo trunks. Eventually, humans used other materials like clay, wood, and metal. And nowadays, even plastic or polymer fiber is also used. In 1804, John Gibb built the first drinking water system in the West that supplied an entire city, Paisley, Scotland, with disinfected water. Within 3 years, filtered water was able to be transported. In Glasgow, in 1806, Paris established a large water treatment plant. The water was settled for 12 hours, after which they were filtered, it using sand and charcoal. In 1829, the Englishman James Simpson invented a sand filter for the purification of drinking water. This helped improve public health immensely. In India, as we have seen, we have the oldest civilization on the planet, Indus Valley civilization, where people used canals and different ancient methods. Even we have seen in excavations of Harappan civilization and various other civilizations, we see the irrigation facilities and the sanitation facilities of sewerage and various other was designed long back, even before other civilizations started up. Though the West has far later began their journey, but we, long before the Western civilization, we had these technologies and facilities which were used by our ancient civilizations since then. And in US, the drinking water supplies are said to be amongst the safest in the world currently. In 1908, Jersey City in the New Jersey was the first city in the US to start the practice of routine disinfection of community drinking water. Over the next decade, many other US cities and towns followed suit in routinely disinfecting their drinking water. So what are the signs of drinking too much of water? If you are vomiting, have a headache, or feeling nauseated without any reason, or it may be signs that you are drinking too much water. Or it also can be some other coexisting comorbidities or due to other reasons as well. The US National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine stated that men should drink about 15.5 cups, 15 and a half cups of water every day. For women, it is about 11 and a half cups per day. And drinking water also helps your kidneys remove waste from your blood. And that waste comes out as urine and also sweat. So our body is mostly made up of water. If you don't drink enough water every day, it can lead to various illness. The best way to find out whether the drinking water system is to see what methods of disinfection and filtration they follow. The more, the merrier. Use this week to spread useful and critical information about the safe consumption of water to raise awareness. Almost 300 million Americans source their drinking water from public water tap systems. Fluoride, a salt compound found in most drinking water systems, helps prevent cavities, but excess fluoride also causes various health issues. The US Environment Protection Agency asks all those involved in community water systems within the country to provide drinking water quality reports to its customers every year. A study stated that Americans drink over 1 billion glasses of tap water every day. According to the reports, cirrhosis and guinea worm disease can be reduced by 80% if drinking water is properly sanitized and hygienic. The schistosomiasis and guinea worm disease are waterborne disease, and these occur due to drinking of contaminated water. So drink enough water every day not only helps quench our thirst, but also actively upgrades our quality of life. It makes our skin glow and helps us feel energetic. And anyway, water is free, available in plenty. So that can be consumed to keep ourselves healthy. And our body needs water to carry out several functions. So we will only be able to thrive if we provide it with enough water. It is important to stay informed about where we are getting our drinking water from, so that we can make sure that water we are consuming is hygienic and safe. It's also important to always use natural filters or a filter mechanism at homes, even after we have ensured that drinking the quality water system, so that we can avoid any kind of leakages or any kind of incidents that can occur in the system. This week is also commemorated as National Correctional Officers Week in US, which was established by former President Ronald Reagan. He saw the need to create a week for correctional officers to thank them for their services and celebrate their contributions to the society. Often they are to make sure that court orders are seen through and implemented. Various US agencies honor correctional officers in jails, prisons, and community correctional facilities by organizing different programs for them. This week is also commemorated as National Hospital Week in US. during the week of Florence Nightingale's birthday, which is on May 12th. So the entire week from May 7th to 13th this year is commemorated. And this week, National Hospital Week is established by American Hospital Association to shine a spotlight on many hospitals, health systems, and healthcare workers who strive to save lives daily. This week is also celebrated as National Pet Week in US. As we have already seen, one more commemoration to matter the time, no matter the place, no matter the time, no matter the day. Our pets always make a world a little brighter. Regardless on how tough things may seem, pets eagerly provide comfort, sympathy, and unquestioned understanding when we most need it. And recognizing our fun family members who give us everything, asking only for a smile in return, maybe an occasional treat. Because our pets always make the world a little brighter. Heinrich Zimmermann, a German writer and publisher, organized the first World Animal Day at the Sport Palace in Berlin, Germany, and over 5,000 people attended this first event on March 24, 1925. The first dog to actually have a major role in a film was Blair, a coolie who started in Rescued by Rover. Naturally, Blair played the role of the rover, and pets became film stars in 1905. Analysis of dog and wolf genomes, along with numerous discoveries of ancient bone, suggests that humans domesticated our canine friends somewhere between 13,000 and 36,000 years ago. So dogs became domestic. This week is also commemorated as National Tourism Week in United States, which reminds ourselves of the importance of traveling and seeking some kind of escape from our normal lives. And of course, there is a truth to the saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And traveling is an important opportunity to make our lives more fun. So we celebrate the travel and tourism industry that strives to create memorable experiences for tourists. It also gives us an opportunity to reflect on how tourism helps boost the economy and highlights local cultures. Tourism began with the idea of pilgrimage in Eastern civilizations, that is, the ancient civilizations like India, before spreading to the Western civilizations. So there were many pilgrimages to earliest Hindu sites, Buddhist sites, Jain sites around the world. What we currently know, also known to be Nepal, Sri Lanka, are also part of the pilgrimage sites in India, in ancient India, or the greater India, where even Pakistan and China were also part of India long back. When we see the ancient history, the ancient Indian map. And nowadays, after these religions emerged, like Christianity, Islam, which were of recent origin, some 2000 to 3000 years. They also have these pilgrimages to the originated places like Islam. They have these pilgrimage tours to Makkah, and for Christians, they have this pilgrimage tour to Vatican City. And similarly, various religions or the followers of their respective religion, they also take up pilgrimages to their respective holy sites. And other major religions like Jainism, Buddhism have born in India. So they also have spread across the world, and they have sites in India, majorly, most of the sites, Nepal, China, and Bali, and across the world, where the pilgrimage for respective religions also are taken up. Actually, the tourism or the pilgrimages, which was later on promoted as tourism and then extended to visits to natural places, waterfalls, and various other things. So in the West, the custom of pilgrimage began to flourish from about 1660 with the invention of different modes of transport. They followed a standard itinerary. This custom was seen as an educational opportunity and a rite of passage. This was reserved for the British nobility and wealthy landed gentry. In the 18th century, after the invention of railway, the Grand Tour became a popular tourist activity for upper-class students. The Grand Tour offered a journey to cultural sites in France, Germany, and Italy. Over the next few years, the tour encompassed many other European sites. By 19th century, journeys for health, leisure, and culture became common practice among the European middle classes and were ways for them to gain cultural capital. On these trips, people could socialize and also show their social standing. During this time, tourists got used to guidebooks and travel companies that created itineraries. Tourism also brought about the development of an art and souvenir markets, as well as transport and accommodation systems like hotels, boarding, and lodging. From 20th century onwards, shipping lines also promoted international tourism. They encouraged tourists to take cruises and travel from northbound ports to Caribbean, and also between the world wars, many upper-class Americans traveled by air and sea to a variety of destinations in the Caribbean and Latin America. And broadly, we can divide the types of tourism as domestic tourism, inbound tourism, and outbound tourism. Of course, it can also be divided on various other factors. Space tourism is also the new emerging trend. That's why billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are doing it, and they have visited space and they return back safely. So that is also a new trend, to visit space and come back. That is a trend in tourism. And Switzerland is the most expensive country in the world to visit. From the airfare rates to the hotel costs, it will cost you an average of $250 per day. And it's time for you to stop delaying your very well-deserved vacation and go and explore the world. It may not be always outbound. You can visit your a neighboring place, and where or otherwise you can visit nearest forest or nearest waterfall or nearest park to any foreign destination. It's up to you based on your time availability and other finances and other things. Traveling is a great way to make fond memories with you and your family members, and planning family trip where you all can get connected and take back some time from the routine tasks. So the world's longest commercial flight from Australia to Sri Lanka took around 30 hours, with passengers seeing the sunrise twice. And the shortest commercial flight in the world, operating between neighboring islands of Westray and Papa Westray in Scotland, the flight takes less than 2 minutes. It even doesn't take time, which is required for boarding and alight. So within just 2 minutes, you can reach the other island. And pilots and co-pilots do not eat the same meal before a flight in case they become sick. This is a no same meal policy for pilots, because if one pilot get food poisoned or any reason, no, the other pilot should be able to manage. So that's why not all the pilots on the flight get the same food. They will be served different food. And the most expensive airport taxi ride from Tokyo's Narita Airport costs around 190 pounds one way. The trains in India transport around 23 million passengers every day. And that's equal to entire population of Australia and many other countries. The most largest network and populated transport system is Indian Railways. As important as we work, and the work is, it is equally important to indulge in leisure. So we must all treat ourselves, and it encourages self-care. And travel also results in a lot of tourism for a city or a town or a place. This helps boost the economy and keeps restaurants, hotels, and other recreational services running, including transport. And it also promotes local culture and traditions and help to spread them to various other places through tourism. Tourism helps local communities showcase their different art and cultures. It allows them to profit of their craftsmanship, because every place has their unique arts and crafts. This week is also commemorated as Public Service Recognition Week. In US, is to admire and honor people who deliver public services to us and make everyday course possible for us. From basic transportation services to the roads and pavements we travel on, we make use of many government-sponsored facilities on a daily basis. It is thanks to the efforts of public service employees that we are able to go about our daily lives. So this week, we raise our glasses to the people employed in the public sector and shine the spotlight on their week. This week is also commemorated as Teachers Appreciation Week in US. When teachers get extra credit they deserve. The big day is Teachers Appreciation Day. It was on 5th May, but teachers are just so great that they get a whole week to savor our appreciation. Whether you have a teacher, you know a teacher, or you yourself are a teacher, then there are endless ways to give little extra support to teachers and teacher organizations. Teaching is known to be a time-consuming and challenging profession. So this week is our choice to say thank you to those that play or have played such a huge role in our lives. Who doesn't have a fond memory of a teacher who inspired us in some way? We all have. Teaching is one of the oldest professions, and we have teachers since India who are great sages, and the lineage of Guru Shishya Parampara is the oldest in the world. And we have many universities like Takshila, Nalanda, which are the oldest universities in the world. And we have seen a lot of invaders who don't want others to get educated. We have seen in the later years, they have destroyed these huge libraries and universities so that they do not serve and contribute to the literacy to the entire world. So these invaders who invaded our country have destroyed a lot of its resources because of their vested interests. And that's why it is very important we need to know about the distorted history. The present historical books or history books doesn't truly represent our history. Again, in those also we have vested interests that were portrayed, and even the invaders are glorified in our books, textbooks. Unfortunately, they are the invaders who have invaded and destroyed our country, and they are being glorified, and our own people didn't find a place in our history. This is most unfortunate thing that has happened, and that needs to be corrected at the earliest, so that we do not glorify our invaders who destroyed our rich culture, tradition, and institutions. By 19th century, politicians began to believe that education was needed for political order, and elementary through college education was widespread and public, and the need for teachers has been growing ever since. This week is also commemorated as National American Occupational Safety and Health Week. As the coming month, we have Occupational Safety and Health Week, which is an annual observance to spread awareness about occupational safety and health, and to bring in systems that ensure the safety and well-being of workers. The American Society of Safety Engineers and Canadian Society of Safety Engineering partner up every year to reevaluate their existing workplace safety levels in general, and to spread awareness about occupational safety and health in the workplace. We also have recently commemorated this event, which is a global event. Every year, resolutions are made to improve the working conditions for employees. Training is arranged and organizations vote to ensure safety of every single worker. The Industrial Revolution, which began in the 18th century, saw the transition of our world from what could have been described as old world order to the new world order. The industrialization that occurred during this period laid foundation for the mass manufacturing and production that takes place today. All of this was made possible by workers who often work in unsafe and hazardous conditions. The cruelty suffered by the workers during the Industrial Revolution became the norm. Working excess hours in dangerous places has continued its existence even in today's world. According to the statistics provided by various labor organizations, around 3 people in every 100 full-time workers fall victim to workplace accidents or mishaps. The divide between the blue-collar laborers and the white-collar workers management has simply widened instead of being reduced. This means that conditions under which people work and the health insurance that they get are still not up to the level required. So to ensure that working conditions improve and the workers are compensated fairly, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health NIOSH program was introduced. Over and above the NIOSH program, the US Department of Health and Human Services have made it one of the premier goals to ensure safety and health of workers and to elevate occupational hazards of all kinds. And thanks to this initiative, not only have strict regulations have been put into place, but more and more awareness campaigns have been organized by partner organizations and groups to facilitate the awareness mission. Hence, North American Occupational Safety and Health Week is commemorated in its first full week of May to build awareness and implement measures that ensure occupational safety and health for employees. So some occupational health and safety procedures include ensuring the equipment is used properly and that emergency exits are never blocked, keeping workplaces as tidy as possible, and report any safety concerns as they arise. Ensure that members of the staff take regular breaks. Every US organization is supposed to provide workers' compensation to its employees in the event any harm comes to them in the workplace. It is or it may be impossible to eliminate hazards, but it's not impossible to reduce them. So organize some fire drills or training for your colleagues so that they know what to do in stressful situations. This is not just in factories, but also this drill can be conducted in colleges, schools, universities, along with other workplaces, so that in case of any disaster, whether it may be natural or human-made, the stakeholders know how to take care of themselves and others. Every year, more than 2 crore people die as a result of workplace-related accidents. So millions of deaths occur every year. It would take 84 years to inspect the working conditions and safety measures taken by every company in the US. So that's a huge inspection time frame. The Council for Occupational Safety and Health is reported to be understaffed with only 2,238 inspectors available to inspect all the 50 United States. So just 2,238 inspectors to do the work in US. And the first ever act that enforced labor protection and safety was passed in 1970 by the President Nixon. Somebody in the world dies every 15 seconds as a result of a workplace-related injury or disease. See how many people are dying in this world. Every 15 seconds, a person is dying with workplace-related injury or disease. Every 40 seconds, a person is dying or trying to commit suicide. And every 60 minutes, one person is dying with hunger or any other hunger-related, malnutrition-related problems. See, every 15 seconds, imagine, while we complete a phrase or a sentence, one person is dying. So there is a lot we can do. There is a lot we can contribute to avoid a death every 15 seconds. And every life matters. The people who work for big companies are as important as anyone else. Their well-being and health are as important as that of a company's owner and management team. The entire system of mistreating members of staff needs to be stopped. Safety and healthy workers mean a strong, healthy workforce. A strong workforce means proper efficiency and effective business operations. By investing in the safety and health of the employees, the organization is investing in its sustainable future. When we are to work somewhere, we make sure there are no hazards or risks of getting injured. We need to think that the same way for those working for us. In general, workplaces should be made safe and conducive to work with the fear of getting hurt while working, looming over workers' heads. They won't perform to their fullest potential. This week is also commemorated with various other commemorations. So we'll not take it up today, but generally on any day, we will have a lot of commemorations across the world. So this day is also commemorated as International Permaculture Day. It serves as a reminder to remind people to embrace behaviors that promote productive, environmentally friendly, and primarily self-sufficient homes and communities. The earth is ours to catch it, and we should do what we can to ensure it stays a safe place for us to inhabit. As the other side of the coin comes with devastating effects. A permaculture design system consists of a collection of ethics, design principles, traits, and practices that organizations, communities, and people may build practical applications on. The biggest drawback of permaculture is that it can be costly. And permaculture includes organic farming, composting, agroforestry, integrated farming, mulching, sustainable development, and applied ecology, because of which it is comparatively a little bit costlier than other methods. But you can protect, save the environment. You must invest in seeds, plants, and labor to achieve good results, because establishing soils, flora, and a balanced system takes years of work. Plants are good for our mental health. When we grow plants, we feel a sense of pride, ownership, and purpose in acting as a caregiver for them. Permaculture will also help us reduce our use of air conditioning, which will help reduce in high electrical bills. Fewer greenhouse gases are emitted into the environment by adopting permaculture practices. When practicing permaculture indoors, the air quality around the home is drastically improved. Growing some of your food resources, the amount of money you spend on food significantly. Permaculture cuts down food costs. It also preserves the environment, so many positives for the environment, from prevention of floods and fire to reducing carbon footprint. The environment can benefit significantly from adopting permaculture. Observing others who share your interest in permaculture fosters a sense of community. Like-minded people often start meeting, which may eventually lead to lifelong friendships. So this day introduces us to hazards of anti-environment activities and familiarizes us with the benefits. You would think twice before harming the environment. Today is also International Day for International Dawn Chorus Day. It is a day set aside for those who appreciate nature sounds and look forward to rising at dawn to listen to the sweet music of different birds. Birds such as song thrush are known to have the most confident voice and are the earliest to start singing. The blackbird instead is known as for its low pitched voice. The robin for its clear and beautiful songs, and the blackcap is known to start its songs as chattering warble before breaking into louder and clearer notes. It is marked by Wildlife Trust and is a very good opportunity for nature lovers to come together at dawn and listen to the music of the birds as they sing to the rising sun. Apart from the cooing of pigeons, you would also be able to hear the songs of blackbirds and robins, the laughing calls of herring gulls, and chatter of house sparrows, to mention a few. In 2021, the Wildlife Trust celebrates the holiday This day is also commemorated as International Bereaved Mothers Day. Most probably that you never heard of it, which is understandable given how mainstream media doesn't cover it. The world is usually busy prepping for Mother's Day around the same time. Corporates and marketers flood our inboxes, screens, and messages with reminders about celebrating our moms. But imagine how devastating this must be for mothers or parents grieving for a child. International Bereaved Mother's Day is a day for moms who lost their children, an opportunity to share or talk about all they might have endured. Women grieving for children are mothers too, even if their babies are no longer with them. Today, we honor parents who lost their children, particularly mothers who may have experienced stillbirth, SIDS, miscarriages, or other type of infection. Motherhood is hard under normal circumstances, so the pain of losing a baby is almost unimaginable. The sorrow endures over months, years, or a lifetime after. Even parenting a new baby later in life can be filled with anguish and guilt. Mother's Day every year is complicated for grieving mothers who struggle on so many levels. The world doesn't recognize them as mothers even when motherhood runs through every fiber of their being. Loved ones are uncomfortable with bringing it up. The world loved ones are uncomfortable with bringing it up, and while talking about it would be more distressing. So should we spare them the pain? All the valid conundrums and compelling reasons why International Bereaved Mother's Day is blessing for many mothers and everywhere. An open expression of grief helps the healing process. Mothers can openly talk about what they went through during pregnancy, and mothers can reminisce, cry, or even share their dreams they had for their children. This day also serves as dual purpose, a celebration of mothers and a remembrance of for children born too soon. The discomfort around notions of death can be stifling. Most people would prefer not to acknowledge the pain and run away from it. So this day hopes to dismantle the stigma by sharing stories and griefs. Families can gradually transform pain into acceptance and ultimately some measures of peace. Grief is a response to any loss of a person may experience. Bereavement is a grief that comes from losing a loved one. Grief has no timeline. Some people feel better in few weeks, whereas others may take years. You may notice yourself feeling better in small ways each day. It is more common than you think. About 10 to 15% of all pregnancies end in miscarriage. Cramping and bleeding during the early stages of pregnancy are the most common symptoms. Often there's nothing different a woman could have done to prevent a miscarriage, so do not guilt yourself. Some women grieve the loss while others with unplanned pregnancies can experience relief. Reactions can vary, each one is normal. And you can get pregnant again. Most women who experience miscarriages can get pregnant again and have healthy children, so no need to worry. And we all are for celebrating special days, particularly one that include individuals whose stories don't get the spotlight as they should. So healing is an ongoing process. Still, one day dedicated to sharing and restoration is always a good thing. We remember that what was and what could have been. We also celebrate strength of mothers with different expressions, experiences. And this day is also commemorated as May Day for Mutts, which is a day to spread love and acceptance for mixed breed dogs. And May Day for Mutts encourages adoption procedures from animal shelters to give more of these adorable animals a home. The word mutt was originally used to refer half-breed dogs that were born from two different breeds. Mutts are more commonly referred to as mixed breed dogs that have no specific breed lineage or background. The designer dog trend began in the latest 20th century when breeders began to crossbreed purebred poodles with other purebred breeds to obtain a dog with poodle's coat and several other desirable characters of their other breeds. In 1974, a Hollywood mixed breed called Benji put mutts on the map. Benji was featured on the big screen and he loved This day is also celebrated as National Barrier Awareness Day in US, initiated to dissolve stigmas keeping people with disabilities from advancing in education. social life, work, and other spheres of life. It was initiated by President Ronald Reagan, who was called upon fellow citizens So with this, we shall conclude it for the day. Thank you everyone for joining. And before that, today is the World Laughter Day. Very important day, as it is celebrated every year on first Sunday of May. And this year it is today, 7th May. So shrill or funny, giggly or bubbly on this day, let out your laughter and laugh to your heart's content. As Shakespeare said, with mirth and laughter, let do wrinkles come. So we want to spend your life with laughter and joy. By laughing, the brain releases endorphins, which make one feel happy. So do not let anyone dampen your day and launch as much as you want. The first Laughter Day gathering took place in Mumbai, India on January 11, 1998. Around 12,000 members from the International Laughter Clubs attended the event and laughed on joyous day. It was followed by Happydemic, the first World Laughter Day celebrated outside. According to Sigmund Freud, laughter releases psychic energy, and this day is also celebrated to raise awareness about the health benefits of participants of laughter. Make sure not to miss the opportunity. Join any laughter club and practice this art of laughing together. Launching is more fun when it is shared. Scientists believe that humans laugh before they could speak. Laughter came before language. Rats and chimpanzees are known to laugh. Animals laugh. Whenever we fear someone laugh, our premotor cortical region of the brain is triggered, which activates laughter in us too. The brain can't help but laugh. 10 to 15 minutes of laughter can bring up or burn up to 40 calories, according to the Vanderbilt University study. On April 15th, Nashville recorded 80 hours worth of stand-up shows in multiple comedians. Life is better with a bit of humor. Laughter keeps us sane and happy, and this is a day to celebrate the gift of laughter. Laughter is known to create social bonds. Laughing with people connects us to them. And we spend our lives stressing over things, but we have this one to celebrate happiness in our lives. So with this, we shall end the conclusion, commemorations for the day. Thank you everyone for joining us. We request everyone to fill up the feedback form carefully without any mistakes. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form for today's session. The registration link has been already shared in chat box. We are sharing it once again so that you can check for your certificates later on. Thank you everyone for joining us. The last week's or this week's conference feedback form is available on the website. Once you complete and submit your feedback form, you can leave your organizations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. See you all tomorrow. The feedback link for the 1 week conference is available on the website. You can fill it up. And in a week's time, you can find your certificate download from the website. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Good night. Christina, do you have any query? You can unmute yourself.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good evening, Christina.
Yeah, this is afternoon here in Nigeria. Thank you, Dr. Ravindra, for giving me the opportunity to make my comment. I really appreciate the organizers of this entire program, particularly you, our coordinator, for your time, your commitment, and a constant motivation for everyone to gain free knowledge. Knowledge is not cheap anywhere, but you have made it you've made it available for us all. We must continue to appreciate God for your life and appreciate you for this commitment. For this session, I followed keenly, and I want to appreciate this day, and I want to also appreciate you for the presentation. I learned a lot about um, um, safety in the workplace. Most times we don't take into consideration these things, and then also our employers don't get to put that into consideration. But I would like to say at this point that our well-being should be taken primarily or seriously by us first before anybody tries to consider that. And then most times when we don't know or when we don't know our rights, it is easy to abuse. Yes, it is easy for the right to be abused. So I learned a lot about the and then also in just trigger a thought in my mind.
It was some network issue. Fine. Thank you, Christina. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. And the feedback form for the 1 week psychology conference is available on the website. And those who have registered, you will be getting through email. Those who have attended and are eligible can fill the feedback form. Certificates are automatically generated. Do not do any mistakes while filling up the feedback form. Or if you have not attended, leave those days. Don't just fill, because it generates an error and your certificate will be not generated for others' day as well. So only fill the feedback form once. Do not fill it multiple times, as it will treat as multiple entries and will not generate certificate. So make sure you are honest in filling up with all the correct details so that your certificate is automatically generated. You can wait for 1 week after all the certificates are updated, and then you can use the e-certificate request form if you have committed some error and you have genuinely attended. Thank you everyone once again. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.